Welcome to As Above.
So below,
I am Kisha Lee, the Psychic Yogi.
and I'm Cidnee Rich, and this is the Leo new moon, August 4th. We're here. It's also the beginning of Mercury retrograde, which we just experienced, trying to start this lovely episode of As Above, So Below. So it is Mercury is retrograding in Virgo, and in the middle of the month, it'll go back to Leo. So this new moon is definitely bringing lots of new energy. Okay, with it being a new moon, we also have this Mercury going retrograde, and then also Venus has moved into Virgo today as well. So we're in all new energy all the way around. So it does really feel like a new beginning. August just started as well, so we're in this new month. And Leo energy, it's I love Leo season, as we talked about in Astro Reiki. And so this new moon, it really is a cool new moon because it's really giving us, I feel, an opportunity to have this exciting, passionate new beginning in all areas of our lives, especially when it comes to the matters of the heart. So feeling a lot more aligned with what it is that we truly desire and what it is that truly makes us feel good. As the fifth house is ruled by Leo, so we know that's like the house of fun, the house of joy, like creativity. And so I just feel like with this new moon, it feels like a fun new moon. Some new moons have a little bit more gravitas. This one feels like, okay, we're starting something new, and it's bringing in really good energy that's going to vitalize us for this second half of the year. We're still in summer, but we are about to get into the turning of the season. So it's like that one last hurrah, really harnessing that summer energy and feeling, like I feel like excited. I feel excited. Um I feel like a lion, right? I feel like I can go and do stuff, and I'm going to make stuff happen, and I'm going to show up in my authentic self and really just be in my heart space and try my best to get out of my head. And so I feel like that's what this new moon is showing us. It's like we are allowed to start new exciting journeys and to feel excitement and joy in our lives, even when other things are happening around us that may feel difficult or hard or challenging. We do get the joy or the pleasure of having this energy come through with this new moon. And with it being a new moon, it does give us that introspective energy naturally as well. So, like, really allowing ourselves to think about who we are and what we're feeling now, how we've grown throughout this year, and places that feel like we want to emphasize more. So Leo also speaks a lot about, I think we talked about it on Astro Reiki too, like your talents, right? And what it is that how you want to show up in those spaces. And this is a great new moon to set intentions in terms of your career or creative projects, picking something back up that maybe you've forgotten about that you like to do, or even starting something new. Like recently, I was like, you know what? I need to bring some more joy, fun into my life where I'm doing something where I'm not having to produce something from it other than just having a good time. And so this new moon feels like that type of energy, just realizing that we don't always have to be so productive, right? We can be in that Leo energy of enjoyment and just doing things because it's fun and it's exciting and we like it. It doesn't always have to be so heavy in the sense of like, what is it? Where is it taking us? Right. And that takes a lot of courage to do something without a result attached to it, or without knowing exactly if it's going to build to something else. Right. Like that takes strength to say, you know what, I'm going to do this thing, even though maybe no one cares about it. Maybe no one's going to even pay attention to the fact that I'm doing this, but I'm doing it because I like it, and I'm doing it because it makes me happy. And that is something I feel like as humans, as the collective, we kind of miss sometimes, that idea of just doing something because we want to. Like, it doesn't matter if somebody co-signs it or people double tap it or whatever the case may be. It's like, do you like it? Does it make you feel happy? That takes courage. And that's why that takes strength to be in that courage, because it's like Leo isn't about being showy. It's about being confident. It's about being like, I don't care if you like it or not. I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to talk about this thing, or, dye my hair this color. And if you don't like it, I don't care. I like it. So it's that kind of energy. It definitely feels like, really leaning into what you love and what you enjoy and what makes you feel like you're stepping out on a limb, like you're stepping out bravely. But it can also feel a little weird too, because depending on your sun sign, right? Like that'll show up in a certain, depending on like your sign, how you show up in that courage may differ. So it might be more subtle, or it might be more analytical or something, depending on what your sun sign is, since Leo is ruled by the sun. But being yourself and just being you and showing up as yourself, I think, is part of this new moon. What makes you feel passionate, and then also what makes you feel like proud, right? Proud to say, like, yeah, I want to attach myself to this concept or this person or this project, because it stands for what I stand for. And being connected to that makes me happy. It makes me feel pride in myself. And it's also kind of like tackling stuff, right? When I think of like Leo energy, I think of the word like fierce and like going after someone, and like, I'm doing it. And I'm just kind of like gymnastics, right? The Olympics is on. When I see them, that is so Leo energy to me. Your talent, your confidence, your bravery, to your perseverance when you're doing those, like the Olympics in general. So it happening during Leo season, I think is really cool, because that is so Leo energy. Like, these people have trained their entire lives doing this work, harnessing these skills, harnessing these talents, and then they're on the biggest stage of their lives, competing in front of everybody to show them that they're the best at what they do, because they're so passionate about it. And that is true Leo energy. So this new moon, I think, allows us to tap into our Olympian and say, like, this is what we're passionate about, what we like, what we want to put our energy into, and feel good about that and feel proud about who we are. But with the Venus in Virgo and then Mercury in Virgo, you also have, those are kind of competing energies, because so if you find yourself being like, I'm trying to move from the heart, but my brain is still coming in and trying to, like, direct me, that's that Virgo influence. So if it can feel kind of like an oxymoronic space too. So if you're not feeling overly like, I'm just going to move from my solar plexus and just do it, and you find yourself like running it back through your brain and your logic, that goes into what's also influencing the time that we're in this moon, with that Virgo energy. So yeah, I don't have a lot to say, to be honest with you, about this new moon. I think it's a really good moon to set intentions and to feel confident in moving in spaces and things that maybe other people don't care about, but you care about it. So being passionate, being steadfast in who you are and what it is that you like and love, and yeah, just being fierce, tackling it like an Olympian. I love that. I love that the Olympics are happening during this, because that's what it feels like to me. That's what Leo energy is. Those Olympians, I mean, they are just out there putting it all on the line, and you see the emotion and you see the heart in everything that they do. And I think that's what this new moon is really representative of, because with the introspection that comes with the dark moon, it's what your heart is saying. It's what your insides are telling you, and how you're being guided and directed from a truly internal soul space, and not so much about the ego at all, So it's not that ego confidence that people sometimes attribute to Leo energy, but it is a soul confidence and a soul perseverance and your soul's bravery and your soul's passion. So remembering that, feeling good. So let's see what the tarot messages. Because like I said, I don't have much to say, y'all. I really don't. Okay. Interesting. So the high priestess came out. That's going back to that moon energy. So the high priestess is directly connected to our subconscious, our soul, our intuition. So using that as a guide, trusting yourself with this new moon, trusting yourself to set your intentions for this new moon, listening to that soul space, listening to your intuition, listening to your inner priestess, right? So getting out of your head, getting back into that just knowingness. I know who I am. I know there's this knowledge within me that I can pull from to set my intentions that are in alignment with my highest self. Um, the Page of Swords. So discovering what that might look like, being open, being this is that freedom energy too. Pages are very free. And with Leo, it's like not overthinking things, even though this is swords energy, but like letting yourself be open to different ways of showing up for yourself, open to different ways of exploring your passions. So there's this there's this like inquisitive, curious energy here, right? And then we have the Page of Pentacles. So another page of learning about who you truly are, who you are now at this point in your life, with this point in the year. Like, this is how I want to show up, or this is what's interesting to me, or this is what I've learned, and now I can apply this, or now I can start to figure out other new things that might make me happy. And getting out of this devil energy of feeling restricted. You know, Leo gives you this sense of freedom. And when you move from your heart, there's no limitations. And so the devil's here to remind, I feel like, us to trust our high priestess and make sure that we're not being restricted in our intention settings. And we're not thinking that we can't achieve something. We're not being fearful of putting our goals out there, reaching for the stars. That's not the energy that we want to be embodying right now. We want the high priestess to show us the way. And I think the devil's here is a message to say, like, don't get scared to go for your dreams. Don't get scared to follow your passion, and don't get scared to show people what that looks like. Even if you're still learning, right, with the pages, how that shows up or how to execute it. It's okay if you're still learning, if you don't know exactly how it's going to look, but don't be restricted by that idea that you're just at the beginning stages of something. Let yourself be guided and protected by spirit as you're on that new moon journey of sorts. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's right in alignment with what I've been picking up for this season. I've just been I personally have been working using a unique methodology um in developing my confidence. And what has been coming to me this whole season so far is learning to really cultivate authentic confidence. And what does that look like? Because we tend to have concepts of what we think a confident person looks like. And unfortunately, sometimes we have that attached to a negative persona. We think of someone that's confident, we might want to tell them that they're boastful, or they're too prideful, or they're arrogant, or they're, cocky, because of our own lack of self-worth, but also our lack of sense of self. And the deeper that, or the emptiness of the lack of sense of self goes, it really finds its roots in energies like shame and lack and isolation and depression and anxiety, and it can even go even further and deeper into different types of personalities disorders, or just confusion around who we are and what we're here to do. And so we don't create things necessarily from the heart or from our soul's wisdom. We end up being detached, a lot of times from ourselves. We may abandon ourselves to try to play on these different roles. And although, knowing our placements, our signs, and things like, I don't know, human design and different archetypes and so forth can be helpful, there's still a way to be confident that is unique to you by really stepping into like who you are here today and what strengths have you acquired, what skill sets have you acquired to this point, to help you to be like more resourceful in drawing forth, taking self leadership, drawing forth, being able to bring those assets, those talents, those that creativity, that instinct, that playfulness, that fun, that curiosity, sense of wonder, but also like courage and determination towards those other parts of you that may not have been feeling as empowered, right? And so, what does being powerful look like for you? Do you know what I mean? How does um what is it that you're doing when you feel the most authentic and the most powerful, and not from a place of like deceit or manipulation, or um being performative, even trying to adapt or bend or be empathetic and people pleasing, but more so in a way that, what, like, I got this. Like, when was the last time, like, maybe think about those times where you set an intention or a particular manifestation that you needed to happen that happened. Think of that feeling, like, wow, I did it. Like, oh my gosh, this enjoyment, this sense of excitement, this sense of pleasure in the moment, and being able to feel supported, being able to feel seen and heard, being able to feel like there's this growth orientation that's happening, that allows you to embark on like new adventures, new ways of seeing yourself, and being able from that space to really reflect on, okay, not from the mind but from the body, what is it that, like, how would it feel for the most powerful and authentic, confident version of me to step forward? Like, what would, from that space, right, holding that space for yourself, what is it that you would like to experience when it comes down to your confidence? What is it that you like to experience when it comes down to your creativity? What would you like to experience when it comes down to being the most courageous version of yourself? Allow the mind to just kind of take a little trip, be creative, be tapped into that inner childlike playfulness of imagination, of curiosity, of possibility. And, just asking yourself those questions. What is it I would like to experience in those areas of confidence, courage, visibility, community, pride, right? Authenticity, pleasure, joy. What is it that I'd like to express in those areas or create and contribute, not only to myself but to those around me? Like, how can I continue that? How can I sustain that fuel, that fire, right, in pursuing those passions that really bring us more fulfillment? And in doing so, because we're being authentic to ourselves, we're able to draw up a natural, organic way of having confidence that people can see, people can feel. You talk from the heart space, not from the head, and not from actually, it's even deeper than the heart space, right? It goes deeper into the cells of your body and what's possible there. And so learning to listen to that inner voice, that inner wisdom, getting out of the head space and actually going deeper than the heart space, can help you on the soul level to be more aligned with what is your destiny. Okay, to help you to have the courage to break through those inner barriers and untangle anything that's been keeping you stuck and feeling heavy. Because what happens is, a lot of times when we are faking it till we make it, right? When we lack authentic confidence, then we start to outsource that. We start to find ways to validate who we are and our experiences. And unfortunately, that takes a lot of energy, right? It depletes us of our chi, of our life force energy when we don't have natural passions that we're pursuing. We're not going for our deepest yearnings and desires, right? That's not being the drive and the motivation. And so if we're externalizing or outsourcing our confidence, then what happens is it takes so much fuel, so much energy that we end up burning and burning out. And eventually that depletes us. And we have probably learned that from childhood issues or traumas and experiences of abandonment and rejection and betrayal. And so in order for us, that's all we know, right? That's a story that's been held within our central nervous system, within our psyche and the deep recesses of our mind. And so to bring the conscious, powerful, wise version of ourselves forward and being able to turn towards those areas where we felt abandoned, rejected, refused, denied, betrayed, second best, that kind of thing, not chosen, not the one, not the winner. When we learn to turn that wise and powerful version of who we are now, and that experienced version of who we are now towards those areas, it allows them to be seen, right? It brings them into the main stage of our lives. And then from there we can say, oh, okay, well, this role no longer serves me. Bending to these ideas or conforming to this or holding on to this story um no longer serves me, but with a gentleness, right? Like the heart of a lion, this gentleness can come in, this courage, this bravery can come in and face that and say, hey, let me guide you, let me lead you, right, with the wisdom that I've attained thus far. Okay, since then. And when we do that, then that version of us that has been disempowered, that has been neglected, that hasn't been tended to, can start to feel seen and heard. And if you listen carefully, you'll be able to understand what those needs are. And when we allow that part of ourselves to be held, to be seen, to be honored, then that part of us that has been resourced and wise and experienced can take greater pride in bringing this wholeness together within ourselves. And then from there, we're able to move forward towards our unique passions, towards or we can amplify our talents, our gifts, put them on display for the world to see, like Cidnee was talking about the Olympics. And just really, this to me, this new moon is about giving yourself a fresh start. Like that's what I've been working on the last few, like, I guess, month or so. Like I think a while ago, maybe it was the last new moon or something, I think I just set my intention to give myself a fresh start in every area of my life, especially when it comes to confidence, my visibility, what my gifts are, what my strengths are, knowing how to presence myself in my interactions with others and in different spaces and places. And it's interesting because my confidence is naturally just like and organically unfolding. I'm not having to put effort into it. I'm not having to be performative or, be anything but myself. And it feels refreshing. It feels like, like a sigh of relief. Like, I feel very calm. I feel very centered. I feel very grounded. And it makes me proud that I've done the work. Right. And so that continues to make you want to pursue that, want to stay courageous, want to stay curious. And that authentic confidence just comes up naturally. It's innate potential that's within you and it's just waiting to be actualized. So that's what we will actually be doing in our meditation, is taking that potential and seeing how we can actualize this authentic confidence, activating it within us and then allowing it to giving ourselves a moment to reflect on how that would look in the world around us. So
Authentic confidence. Yes, I love that. And, the one thing I'll just add to that is it can feel uncomfortable. And that's okay to like find that and start to embrace that because I think that's where I am with this. And so I'm excited about meditation because I feel like it's funny. It's like I'm seeing myself a lot more from an external POV these days. And it's like, I'm like, oh, who's that girl? And it's like, I'm trying to like, you know, get in my body of that. And I think that that's what you're, speaking to too with the authentic confidence, feeling like, oh, I am that girl. Like I don't have to look at her from the outside. I am her. And so I think that's really interesting because these days I've been hyper aware of myself, but not from a insecure place, but of like a okay girl. But it's
Mhm,
also like I'm like it's like outside of me, like, okay, girl, you know what I mean? So I'm excited about this meditation. If you
mhm,
guys are ever interested to come to the meditations, remember you just have to be a part of the Patreon, especially with the new moon. This is for everybody that's a Patreon member, even if you're not part of the tiers. So check that out. And we will be back for the full moon in Aquarius, which is going to be a crazy astrology day. I will also leave y'all with the information that after we get past this week, August is going to get wild and crazy, kids. So buckle up,
mhm,
Buttercup, because it's about to get crazy. And I feel like in a good way for the most part, but it is going to be a very pivotal month for the collective and individually. So I do think that our lives are changing for the better this month,
mhm,
and the astrology is really supportive of that. So like, share, comment, you know,
mhm.
subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll be back.